Hi everyone, and welcome back. I'm so glad you could join us today. We've got an exciting news story to share, so let's get right into it. My name is Ethan, and for the longest time, I thought I had the perfect love story. I believed I had found the woman I'd spend the rest of my life with, Amelia. I saw her as not just my girlfriend, but my future. From the very first moment we met, I felt like everything was falling into place. We crossed paths at the wedding of a close friend. I was there for the groom, and she was there for the bride. One minute, I was enjoying the celebration, and the next, I was lost in conversation with the most captivating woman in the room. By the end of the night, we had exchanged numbers, and that was the beginning of everything. At first, it was nothing serious. A few casual texts here and there, but before long, it turned into a daily habit, morning messages, late night calls, and check-ins throughout the day. Slowly but surely, Amelia became a part of my everyday routine. It felt effortless, natural. Then came the moment when I finally asked her to be my girlfriend. I'll never forget how she teased me, made me wait, acted unsure. At the time, I thought she was just being cautious, taking the decision seriously. I saw her hesitation as a sign of maturity, of thoughtfulness. Looking back, I wonder if I should have recognized it for what it really was. But at that time, I didn't question a thing. I gave her everything, my time, my love, my unwavering support. Whenever she needed me, I was there. If she faced a challenge, I did everything in my power to fix it. If she wanted something, I made sure she got it. I introduced her to my family, and they accepted her without hesitation. My parents treated her like their own daughter. My siblings adored her. She was always welcome in my home. It wasn't just my family, either. I grew close to hers as well. I didn't just love Amelia. I cared deeply about the people she loved. If her parents needed help, I was there. If her siblings ever needed anything, I made sure they got it. I wasn't just in a relationship with her. I was investing in her, in us, in our future. In my mind, it was only a matter of time before I'd get down on one knee and make it official. But from the beginning, my friends weren't exactly fans of Amelia. They never said anything outright at first, but I could sense their doubts. It wasn't just one or two of them. It was all of them. They thought she was too wild, too unpredictable, and, as they put it, too much woman for someone like me. You see, I'm the quiet, steady type, but Amelia, she was loud, full of energy, and always the center of attention. My friends didn't trust that. They claimed she was the type of woman who needed chaos to stay interested, and I wasn't the chaotic type. They didn't hold back on their warnings either. "She's playing you," they'd say, shaking their heads. "You're acting like a fool for her." Every time we hung out, someone would find a way to bring her up, and it was never positive. They'd tell me I was blind, that I was letting her take advantage of me, but I didn't listen. I'd just smile and tell them they were wrong. "You don't know her like I do," I'd say, brushing off their concerns. I convinced myself they were just being protective, that maybe they didn't like seeing me so invested in someone. To me, Amelia wasn't what they thought she was. I believed she was different. She wasn't some selfish, manipulative person. I believed she was the best thing that had ever happened to me. Life doesn't always hand us good things, but when it does, you hold on tight, right? That's what I told myself. That's what I told my friends. I believed in love, and I believed in her. In addition to my friends, there was another person who tried to talk some sense into me, Megan. Megan and I had grown close over time, becoming friends through my relationship with Amelia. At first, she was just one of Amelia's friends, but over time, we started to get along really well. Megan was easy to talk to, blunt, and always spoke her mind. I trusted her, and I never expected what she told me next. She hesitated for a moment before telling me Amelia had been cheating on me. Not a one-time mistake, not a moment of weakness. No, it had been happening for quite some time. She told me she had confronted Amelia multiple times, urging her to stop, but Amelia hadn't cared. In fact, she had only gotten bolder with her actions. Megan said she couldn't stay silent anymore. She thought I deserved to know. I looked at her in disbelief. Cheating? Amelia? It didn't make sense. We were good. I took care of her, loved her, made sure she never wanted for anything. I introduced her to my family, and they adored her. I was close with her family, always ready to help whenever they needed something. Amelia had no reason to betray me, no reason at all. I laughed, shaking my head. "This is a joke, right?" I asked, expecting Megan to crack a smile and tell me it was just a test to see if I trusted Amelia. But she didn't laugh. She didn't take it back. Instead, she sighed and told me she wouldn't have said anything if she wasn't sure. Still, I refused to believe it. This had to be a mistake. My mind scrambled for any explanation that made more sense than the thought that that Vanessa, the woman I had pictured marrying, was deceiving me. One evening, after a grueling day at work, I came home exhausted. The office had been chaotic, and all I wanted was to eat, shower, and maybe relax with something mindless until I could drift off. But before I could even take off my shoes, my phone rang. It was Stephanie again. I stared at the screen for a moment, uncertain whether I should pick up. The moment I answered, Stephanie's voice came through, urgent and serious. "Daniel, if you don't believe me about what I said the other day, go to Vanessa's apartment right now. Don't tell her you're coming. Just go." I sat down, rubbing my forehead. "Stephanie, I'm drained." "What exactly?" "Just go." Her voice was sharp, almost desperate. "If you trust me at all, just go. Don't wait." Her tone made it clear she wasn't playing games, but a part of me resisted. What if I showed up and Vanessa was simply home, relaxing on her own? What if I looked like a fool for doubting her? And what if she found out that Stephanie was the one feeding me these doubts and became angry? But then the thought crept in, one I couldn't push aside. What if Stephanie was right? I took a deep breath, standing up from the couch. Fine, I wasn't going because I believed Stephanie, but because I needed to prove her wrong. I needed to end this nonsense and shut down her interference once and for all. I changed into something more comfortable, grabbed my keys, and left my apartment, locking the door behind me. I drove to Vanessa's apartment, parked outside, and walked up to the door. Of course, it was locked, but I had a spare key. After a brief hesitation, I unlocked the door and stepped inside. Everything was quiet, just as I expected. But as I moved further into the living room, something caught my eye. A man's shirt crumpled on the floor, a pair of jeans draped over the couch, and beside them, Vanessa's dress. My heart rate spiked. I pulled my phone from my pocket and hit record. If this was what I thought it was, I needed proof. Then I saw them. Vanessa was tangled in the sheets, her back exposed, and a man, tall, muscular, and more imposing than me, was straddling her. They were so lost in their moment that they didn't even notice me standing there. I should have screamed. I should have confronted them, but I didn't. I just stood there, numb, recording. When I finally stopped filming, I put my phone back in my pocket. Clearing my throat, I finally spoke. The shock on Vanessa's face was immediate. She gasped, scrambling to cover herself. The man's eyes flickered toward me, but there was no sign of guilt, just surprise that I had somehow appeared. I was stunned, but when I found my voice, I only asked one thing. "Why?" Vanessa hesitated for a moment, then met my eyes with an expression of defiance. "I'm sorry, Daniel, but I needed someone stronger. You're good, but you're too soft." Her words hit like a punch to the gut, but I didn't respond. I didn't yell, didn't beg. I simply turned and walked over to her purse, pulling out the spare key I had given her. Without another word, I left. I thought reaching out to my friends would help. Maybe they'd offer some comfort or validation. But when I told them what had just happened, they didn't react the way I expected. They didn't offer sympathy. Instead, they laughed. It was like I had just told them the funniest joke. I sat there, waiting for the laughter to die down, hoping one of them would finally say, "Man, that's messed up. You didn't deserve that." But it never came. One of them slapped my shoulder, still chuckling. "She's right, bro. You were a fool for her." Another nodded with a smirk. "You treated her like royalty, but she wanted a king, not a servant." I blinked, trying to make sense of their words. They weren't comforting me. They were agreeing with her. They were telling me that, yes, I'd been cheated on, but that it was somehow my fault, that I deserved it. And in a way, they were right. They had warned me, but I'd been too stubborn, chasing a fantasy of love. I didn't argue. I didn't fight back. What was the point? Eventually, I stood up, feeling the weight of the situation pressing down on me. I left their place, went home, and locked my door behind me. I grabbed the first bottle of alcohol I could find. At first, I only wanted to take the edge off, to numb the chaos running through my head. But one sip turned into two turned into five, and before I knew it, I was sitting there, bottle in hand, drowning in a mix of alcohol and self-loathing. Each drink fueled the fire of anger that was slowly building inside of me. If she wanted to play dirty, I didn't know how far I was willing to go. I wanted her to understand what it felt like to be exposed, to have her own secrets laid bare for everyone to see. Without hesitation, I grabbed my phone. The screen lit up with unread messages, but I wasn't interested in them. I went straight to my gallery, found the video, and opened every group chat we had shared. I uploaded the video and then typed out a message. "Be careful who you give your heart to. Some people will break you and still make you feel like you're not enough." I hit send. Immediately, my phone started buzzing. First, one notification, then another, until it became a flood of them. Calls, texts, voice voice notes, all pouring in at once. Names I recognized. People I hadn't heard from in ages. Even some of Vanessa's closest friends. They were all seeing it. I let it ring out. I didn't care about their opinions anymore. The deed was done. I took one last swig of the liquor, feeling the burn as it slid down my throat, and set the bottle down next to me. The weight of everything started pressing down. My head was heavy, my body sinking into the couch. The buzzing of my phone became background noise, meaningless. My vision blurred, and my breath slowed. Before I knew it, everything went dark. The morning after was eerily quiet. I reached for my phone, and the reality hit. 32 missed calls. Vanessa, her friends, some mutual acquaintances. The messages kept flooding in, trying to undo everything with sheer persistence. Some were furious, calling me every name imaginable. Others tried to guilt trip me. Be the bigger person, bro. You're better than this. Then there were the desperate ones, begging me to take the post down, as if the truth only mattered when it was hidden. Vanessa's voice notes were the worst. She started out furious. Daniel, you ruined my life over one mistake. You're sick. But as she kept talking, the anger started to crack. Desperation slipped in. She cried. She begged. She blamed me. You're making it worse than it needs to be. Worse for who? Vanessa. And then came the legal threats. One of her friends tried to sound smart, calling it revenge porn. It wasn't. There was no nudity, no explicit content, just cold, hard proof of what she did. Proof she thought would never see the light of day. If exposing the truth made me the villain in this story, then I was fine with that. I had been the fool for far too long, so I did what felt right. Vanessa? Blocked. Her friends? Blocked. Anyone still trying to defend her? Blocked. I scrolled through the group chats one last time, watching the reactions unfold. Some were shocked. Others acted like they'd always known. Some laughed. And me? I just sat there, sipping my drink, feeling lighter than I had in years. So now, would you have done the same? Honestly, I don't care. But one thing is for sure, Vanessa, she's gone from my life for good. And to those watching, to anyone with something to say, whether you think I went too far or not far enough, let me know. Call me petty. Call me a snake. Call me whatever helps you sleep at night. I'm done caring. And if you know someone who needs to see this, share it. Maybe they'll learn something before it's too late. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button and turn on notifications so you never miss more shocking real-life stories like this. See you in the next one.